Gwen, what kind of issues do you have to deal with in your ward work?
Wow, where shall I start? This can be quite varied and sometimes quite challenging, but hey, that's why I wanted to be a ward councillor, just to help people. Unfortunately, one of the main issues that I seem to be dealing with is antisocial behaviour, be it youths on the street or just nuisance neighbours. Amongst all the other issues that I deal with, could be drug dealing, car theft, house thefts, street workers.
David, could you explain to me please, what was your role in the Neighbourhood Watch scheme?
My role within the Neighbourhood Watch scheme is actually the chairperson of the North Bank Road Neighbourhood Watch, along with other committee members.
Yeah. What does that involve, that role?
That role involves coordinating actions which residents have brought up at the local Neighbourhood Watch meetings. These actions are involving local ward councillors like Cllr Lowe and also the local police, the Batley policing team, and other officers, or is any particular issue that residents may have within that particular area.
How useful has Councillor Lowe's involvement been?
The Councillor Lowe's involvement has been extremely useful because she's been able to help us to get the appropriate agencies involved with issues which concern local people within the local area. That could be a matter of highways, it could be a matter of planning issues, because Neighbourhood Watch is not just about dealing with crime and antisocial behaviour, but it's also the low level issues like people parking on double yellow lines, potholes, streets where the pavements have been lifted up, and of course people tripping. Also issues regarding a zebra crossing. So it's a wide-ranging set of issues, and it's through that multi-agency meeting that we have, say, once every 2 months, that people are able to address their particular issues with the ward councillors, with the officers who are actually concerned with that particular issue, with it, be it highways, be it housing, and also with the local inspector.
Road safety issues are quite prominent as well. That can be road safety issues in themselves. I'm actually working with some of the local schools at the moment. A survey showed that we've got quite a high incident rate of car accidents and casualties in this area. So there's a big road safety campaign going on. You'll probably see posters on lampposts with the children saying, please drive slowly. And from all this work, there'll be some new road traffic signals and markings in the streets. And one of the things that was absolutely fantastic in this was that I was actually invited to one of the schools, and we had the fire brigade in, and they were showing the children what happens if there's a car accident and someone has to be actually cut out of a car. And I was one of the victims in the car. Wow, that was absolutely great. Obviously, under real circumstances, I wouldn't have wanted to be there. But we're educating the children, tables are turning. Parents, you must wear seatbelts, you must drive slowly. It's frightening to see how many parents pick the children up for school and there are no seatbelts either on their adults or on the children. So children are in turn educating the parents. Other issues that I have to deal with, again with highways, could be poor road surfaces. Plenty of roads need resurfacing around here. Potholes, inundated with reports about potholes, gritting, grit bins, poor street lighting, refuse collections. Some people don't always get the bins emptied on time, complaints about that. Fly tipping, littering, litter bins. People are always wanting new litter bins out on the street. Public rights of way, public footpaths. Unfortunately, they don't seem to be maintained as we would wish they would be. Apparently there's a maintenance programme that goes on twice a year, but to me this work should be done as and when it is actually needed. Housing issues, that could be people wanting rehousing or people that just want some repairs done to their property. Overgrown trees and vegetation, obviously we get a lot of people complaining about public footpaths with the weeds, trees particularly in the autumn when they're shedding the leaves. Noisy and unsocial hours, unfortunately I get quite a few complaints about that, but obviously summertime, light nights, people are out entertaining in the garden till late on. Planning issues, people come to me with planning problems. I actually sit on the planning committee so I have to remain impartial on any planning issues that I'm actually approached on. One of the big ones, dog fouling. Oh, more complaints about dog fouling on the streets. Down to irresponsible dog owners. I have a dog, I clear up after him. Please, if you've got a dog, clear up after your dog. Another issue, one I've never had before, feral cats. Problem with feral cats, keeping people awake at night. But I've got to tell you this one. One of the biggest phobias I have in life is maggots. And I've been to see a family this morning, and last night they had a maggot infestation. And I had to go into this house, and as we walked through the garden, oh, maggots crawling on the doorstep. Oh. So as you can see, I have to deal with quite a lot of things.
Okay then, Gwen, could you tell me about any big achievements you've had as a councillor this year?
Solving anybody's problems to me is a big achievement. If I have to pick 3 out, I suppose one of them would be setting up the Friends of Staincliffe Park and actually finding £249,000 in a pot within the council to be spent on the park.
Could you tell me please, what is your involvement with the Friends of Staincliffe Park?
Well, I chair the committee for Friends of Staincliffe Park, which is a group established to try and get something done about the state of Staincliffe Park.
Could you tell us how this involvement came about? How did you become involved with Staincliffe Park?
I guess, in a way, I was actually a bit of a pain in the backside for the local councillors in the area, because I was fed up with the state of the park. I used to walk my dog in the park quite regularly, and the park was in an absolute mess. So I started emailing the local authority councillors on a regular basis, and eventually Gwen Lowe got in touch with me and said, well, yes, we'd like to do something about it. Why don't you set up a group Friends of Staincliffe Park, a bit like they've done down at Wilton Park, I guess, and then would ask me if I would be chairman of the group, or would I volunteer to be chairman of the group, which I did do eventually, and that's how we formed the group.
Could you tell me a little bit about what are the aims of the group?
Well, the aims are obviously to improve the park. We want to really make it into a resource that can be used by the whole community. It is one of a small number of green areas really in Staincliffe that we feel we would like to make into a nice playing area for the children, but also a place where grown-ups can go, and hopefully we will actually try and run some functions in the park in due course once all the improvements have been done there.
Another achievement was for an elderly couple. They live in a Kirklees neighbourhood housing property. Can I ask you what the initial problem was?
Well, every time we had a bath or shower, the room were absolutely wet through. Same in the kitchen if you did any cooking, it wasn't taking it out the window. So we were all steamed up, it was running down the walls.
Can I ask you why you contacted your local councillor?
We've been in contact with the council. Initially, the housing estate or the estate manager said he would see to it. He okayed the job to be done. That was 6-7 months down the line, nothing happened. When we contacted them again, they sent the surveyor out, who said, you have no chance, we will not do it. And that was as far as it went, so we contacted you.
And how did I manage to help you?
Well, when we got the knock back from the surveyor, you said, right, I'm prepared to go higher, which you did.
Came with the surveyor.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The surveyor
And he looked
said
again
there was
and
nothing
still
possible and they weren't going to do it. So Gwen said, and she did, went higher.
And, lo and behold,
it's been done.
The last 4 years being a councillor has just absolutely flown by. I've really, really enjoyed it. I hope I have made a difference to people's lives. And in May this year, I was re-elected once again to be a Batley councillor. And obviously people must have had faith in me, must have thought I've done quite a decent job. So I'm delighted to be able to serve the people of Batley West for another 4 years.